Mm. Hello, everyone. It's been way too long since I've last streamed. I think it's been over 4 months. Um, and yeah, I'm happy to get back into things. Um, Last time, I started exploring the world of Lord of the Rings in Lord of the Rings Online. And yeah, I have loved doing that, so I'm finally back. And yeah, let's just hop into the game and just see what awaits us. There we go. Everything all right. Now between episodes, I've actually done a few things. I cleaned out a little bit of my inventory and done a few lesser quests. Um, and I think I'll be doing that more often in the future as well. Because while I would love to explore the place, I also think that a lot of the quests might not be as fun to watch. Um, so I'll try to focus more on. See, there we go. Not that one. What quest log? That one. On the epic quests, which are the storyline. And as far as I know, those are much more tied into the books as the regular quests are. So, yeah, let's just get started. I do have a minor quest here, which I thought was interesting because this is a quest to explore some ruins. And while you might think that why would there be runes in elven controlled lands, that actually goes back to way before. Because if we zoom out here and we do that again, so that one, it's been so long there. We're approximately in this area, and to the west of there is nothing but sea. But in the old world, this was generally considered to be on the eastern side of what was at that time elven controlled lands. And there was this incredible war that even tore the land asunder. So it is actually quite. How do you say that? You would probably find some elven ruins or other kinds of ruins along what is now the coastline, even though this is far from what we know is the war for the West. Let's see, like that takes place mostly in this area, so it's really far away. But back in those days, this was not even an area that was explored very much. So that's why I figured, hey, let's go into that and show you a little bit of the lore behind those ruins. Now the ruins itself are just random ruins, so I can't say much about that. But we can at least, check it out, see what's there. Avoid some wildlife. And I'm sorry if I'm not exactly the best at this. Ooh! That was a bit of server lag. Oh well. I suppose just have to get rid of these really quickly before they get rid of me. Uh-oh! That's... not good, not good. I am going to get out of here because I am getting very low on HP, although this game calls it morale, which is a little bit different. I think that's because the developers didn't want a death mechanic in there. So instead of dying, you just, well, you lose all your morale and flee, I guess, something like that. So this time, let's do things a little bit easier and not get every single goblin pull here. I really don't like it when they run away. Let's explore these rooms. And it looks like it was a hole of some sorts by the layout. This might have been like the entryway. But you can see that it is completely overgrown with all these vines and bushes and even trees growing inside, which means that this place has been abandoned for, well, probably a century, maybe more, probably even more. But if we look at all the beautiful motifs here, we can surmise that this was in fact an elven hall. Also the arches here, and especially the filigrees, they are so incredibly telling. About, you know, the history of the elves. Hey Madara, welcome. I'm sorry if I'm not the best at reading and responding to chat. I'm trying, and I'm hoping that I'll learn from this and just get there at some point. And thanks for joining me, and I hope you're having a good time here. Oh, always happy to have some advice. Thank you. Maybe it's just my personality, but I prefer to let people know what they run into. Let's see, where do I need to go? How long have you been streaming? What's this tower? Oh, that's quite a long time. And are you enjoying it? Well, obviously you are enjoying it, otherwise you wouldn't have done it for 3 years. There's a name guy. But let's get rid of these ants first. That is true. Although, I will say that I'm mostly here for the lore. And that is what makes this game so interesting for me. Yeah. Well, that's really good advice. Just be yourself. That is something that I definitely want to do. Where do I need to go? Find the first tower. Am I in the right location? I think I am. Somewhere around here. Where exactly? Where exactly do I need to go? This is so confusing sometimes. But that also kind of makes it fun. Just finding new ways. Level up, apparently. Lots of... I would say... I would add a fourth one to that as well, Mandara. And that is... find something that you like to do and make it your own. Do something different. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. Because, yeah, it's a fairly old game. It's been out there for... I don't even know how long. And, yeah, people will have seen it. It's not as... you know, new and gripping as some of the newer games out there. But hey, it is something that's really nice, and Lord of the Rings of its own is pretty timeless, I think. And as such, yeah, I think lots of people know at least a little bit about Lord of the Rings, but I don't think a lot of people will have had an in-depth explanation of all the things that are out there. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can provide that a little bit. There's the first tower. I think it was where I was before. Oh, maybe on this side. Yeah, narration really important, I think, from what I've seen at least. Although sometimes when you get caught up into things, that tends to be a little bit hard to remember. Especially when it's, you know, not as, well, gripping, I would say, as, like, especially the lore perspectives that I want to go for. So me just running around here, absolutely having no clue where to go. It's kind of hard to find something to say about that. Oh, I'm using like one of the cheap-ass things that I bought in store at some point. What is that? Is it a bit low? What do you mean, gain high? It's off to the side somewhere. It's like down. Where was my camera? There. There we go, finally. Yeah, I set up my stream settings with someone else, and they mentioned the same thing. And unfortunately, it's nothing that I can do a lot about. It's a standing microphone, and currently it's kind of broken, so it's just lying down. And yeah, I'm very aware of the echo thing, but at least we've eliminated a lot of that echo. Because it was way worse, I can tell you that. Yeah, thanks. Definitely appreciate such help. Thank you. But yeah, until I think things get a bit underway more, I'm not exactly in a position to invest a lot into this setup. So unfortunately, it will have to be what it is. Oh, I am. Well, do you think that I should be less loud or that the game should be louder? Okay, let me check, because currently I've set my audio mixer to like high as hell. Let's see, how about this? Yeah, I don't know. Wait, that's the wrong setting. Haha. I am quite illiterate about such things. I do have OBS. Um, so I'm using like now it's too low. How about now? Yeah, but I can't hear myself, you know. Oh right, yeah. Um, I have decreased the setting from it was at zero point 0.0 dB to minus 0.5. Um, how is it now? Is it good or should it be uh, changed in any way? Super quiet. Okay, I was afraid of that. Let's increase it back to minus 0.1. How about now? Game audio can go up a bit. Yeah, I thought so. The problem is that if I have the game audio on too loud, then my microphone will pick it up. Um, because, as you can see, no headset, and I don't really like a headset either. So I, I will have to look into that at some point. But for now, let's just turn it up, I think, to here. So how about now? Cool. Thank you. And the voice? Well, this is as far as it can go up.
What can I do for you? Stay a moment.
Okay. I can't turn it up anymore in OBS. Um, what settings do I need to go um, in my PC to actually turn that up? Hold on, I can. Hey, you said I went into OBS, then clicked on my mic aux thingy, and then advanced audio properties, and now I can actually see the volume. No, I don't have that. Um, so I will up myself by the 12% that you've said, and let's see how it is now. Any different? Um, yay! Yeah, I guess so. You know, I could talk forever about like these beautiful towers and how the moon. I mean, the stars. Look, just look at this. It's just so easy to do, but it's so important that you get it right for. Um, okay, get it right. Sorry, let me finish my friggin' sentence now. Um, God. Yeah. I mean, when you look at games like this, the ambiance is what makes or breaks it. And having a Starry Night like this is just absolutely amazing. Turn this up. Now another 10%. How about now? Now it's just volume. Dun. I am learning as we go. La 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 la. Thank you so much, Madara. Okay, I upped it another 8% from the previous one. Thanks, Madara. However, I would like to point out that I am also recording this for YouTube, and I'm also recording this for a Tolkien group I am a part of, and I would like to keep the profanities, even like shit, to a bare minimum if possible. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, I put the volume up 20% this time. So it's now at 150. You know what the max is? Is that like 999? 1000%? What is that like? Too loud? Thank you. So is that good or is it too much? Really? Well, that might also because when the problem with Lord of the Rings Online is that when I have to go to my second screen, I have to tab out, and that means game sound just goes away. So that's why there was absolutely no echo there. I have to drop it by 5%, as in a flat 5%, or 5% based on what it's at right now. Flat 5. Okay, going to turn it down from 1000 to 995. Here we go. So much fun this. In the meantime, I am going to travel to my next quest, which is over here somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for helping me. Much appreciated. Thank you. So, what are you streaming regularly, Madara? What kind of games or art do you play or go into? In the meantime, let's drop off this cliff here. Ouch. Because I wanted to show you something. Sort of. Go away, boar. I don't want to do anything with you. Now, this is the place I wanted to show you. This is docks, but as you can see, hold on while I get rid of this. It's called a handraval, but it's sort of a crow. And crows are considered to be, well, bad creatures, let's put it that way. And yeah, I know. But in a lot of mythical based in fantasy worlds, crows are considered to be bad omens, and as such, yeah, I know. Superstitions definitely, but within the world that we, especially this world within Lord of the Rings, crows are actually used as spies for Sauron. And you can see that in the movies as well, when the party, the Fellowship, moves south towards Rohan. Large flocks of crows can be seen banded together to form this huge ball of eyes that scan the land, and I think there is, I'm not sure actually, I think I might be confusing something with another fantasy series I've read, but at least in Lord of the Rings they are definitely used. I don't know a lot about Naruto, I'm sorry. But there are a lot of instances where animals are used in a way to scout for someone. But in Lord of the Rings especially, they are used as a way to scout out where the Fellowship is at. And that in turn will alert the enemy to their presence there, and therefore what is considered to be a fairly secretive mission. I am so used to that, and it's really hard for me to multitask, to finish my sentence and then react. So I think that is something that I will learn to do as I go along. But anyways, as I was saying, the crows are used to spy on enemy positions, so well, on friendly positions in our case, so that the enemy will know how and where to attack. Having said that, however, let's go back to why I wanted to see this place in the first place. And that's because this is a rare site in Middle-earth. Yeah, kind of like surveillance, definitely. As you can see, these buildings and statues and plinths and everything are very square looking, which are, let's see if I can have a view of the Elven stronghold up there, quite different because these are all round and natural shapes. And when you look back at this harbour, that just screams like it's a different culture. And in this case, everything is hewn out of stone, so we can safely assume that this is of dwarven make. Now, I said that this is quite a rare sight in Middle-earth, and that's because dwarves generally don't like water. Yeah, exactly. Dwarves are a mountainous people, so while of course they have no problem with water as in streams or rivers or anything, they're not really the kind to do boats really well. And this can be seen in the books as well when Gimli expresses his not exactly fear but distaste, I guess, for having to travel in such a tiny boat on such a large river. Yes, exactly. That's not the dwarves' forte. They are diggers, they are miners. So, yeah, this is something that you won't see a lot. But you could suppose that, especially when there's a river next to a mountain and next to a mountain stronghold, dwarves might want to build like a safe harbor like this for trading purposes, so other races can use that water for trading with other peoples. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think so too, and that's why I wanted to do this project. And it's so much fun to just explore and see what we can find and why things are the way they are. And like you can see, this is one hell of a big area to explore. We are in this tiny area, so there's so much more to see. And when when we go in the books, then it is approximately this area where we started in the Shire, and we move all the way through here. We have lots of text on this area as well from The Hobbit. Yeah, but I still have to read them. And as I said, I'm not that good at multitasking, but that's okay. If I fall silent once in a while. And I think it's better to read chat and decide whether to react to chat rather than try to, to ignore it outright. I am learning this. Yay! So yeah, we'll be exploring a lot of this. We'll also be exploring parts of the area that the books are less well versed in, and we'll have to actually do some research on that because I'm not too familiar with all of the areas either. So let's continue. Yonder, sure. Yonder, sure. What a nice way of putting it. It's named just the Shire. now we have a bit of a decision to make. We can go over to Gondamon for our main quest, or we can go for a side quest. And I am not entirely sure which way to go quite yet. I am not sure whether I want to say where I'm from exactly, but I can tell you that I'm from West Europe. So no, definitely not gonna dox myself. There are things that are best left unspoken, I would say. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Elaine. I am actually 43 years old, so yay, I'm getting on there in years. Obviously, but hey, which streamer isn't really? You mean for my age, Madara? Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm a bit lucky in that regard. I have a bit of a baby face, but something that I think has also helped a little bit in making my skin look a bit younger is that I am transgender. And I've started hormone therapy about 4 years ago now, I think. And that, from my experience at least, that has helped a lot. But yeah, I have started reading Lord of the Rings, I think, back when I was 15 in high school, and have been a fan of it ever since. And I think back in 1999, I joined this online fan group, and I have learned so much since joining that group, and we're still meeting quite regularly. So it's been around for 25 years. Well, I've been a member of that group for 25 years. So yeah, what else do you would you like to know? In the meantime, I'm going to check for.
Greetings, friend. Will you lend me your ear?
Hold on, I'm going to read. I found this game actually through the group I'm a member of. They started playing it back in the days, and I just was like, well, yeah, it's something that resonates with like everything that we're about. So that's why we and I started playing it. Okay, so I have to scout an encampment somewhere. I'm going to take this quest.
Will you stay a
but
moment?
I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it. For now, I'm just going to see where I need to go. So I need to go to this encampment over here, so we can take the side quest over there in the meantime. Mhm. I don't know whether I can. That is something that I would like to ask the group before I do that. Because it is, you know, a, quite a private group. Our members consist solely of Tolkien fans. We actually have an entry test to see if people are who they say they are. And especially when the movies came out, that became even more appropriate as our test is based upon the books, and we really want to have like just members of our fans and who share our love for both gaming as well as well, I should say that different. Our love for Tolkien as well as gaming.
Megovanen.
This is not the main quest, I think, so just going to...
Greetings to you. Megovanen, might you spare a moment of your time? Megovanen, might you spare a moment of your time?
Now, as you will see,
Might you spare
I'm
a
usually
moment of
not
your
one
time?
to read a lot.
Stay a moment.
When we do main quests, I
Will you
will
stay and speak with me a
definitely
moment? Will you
try
stay
to
and
remember
speak with me a
to
moment?
read the quests out loud. Let's see. That's a lot of stuff to do. Let's get the main quest first. And that is something that I really, really like in this game, is that there is a main quest. The story, I am going definitely the wrong way. That will get you through the game and will take you on a journey through the lore of it. And while I've always liked games like World of Warcraft and the quests that there are in there, there is generally not as much of a strong storyline as you will find here. I mean, yes, there are, in a way, especially when you get into endgame content. But I think that the content in here is just so rich in lore. And yeah, that is one of the things that really drew me to this game. And why I love to keep playing it. Now, something new that I can tell you about is these enemies that we're fighting right now. These are dwarves, and although generally speaking dwarves are allies within the lore of Lord of the Rings, it's very important to note that even within Lord of the Rings or the larger universe, there's been times of strife between both dwarves and elves, or dwarves amongst each other. Even elves amongst each other have had strife before, even if that is much more rarely. And these dwarves belong to a clan called the Dower Hands, which I'm not too sure whether that's in the lore of the books per se, or if that is something they added to this game, but are a clan that has allied themselves with evil, kind of like Dark Dwarves or Chaos Dwarves, I suppose you could call them. But yeah, that's, even though the game doesn't always follow the lore exactly, I think they have used that lore enough to at least give you a fairly good idea of what the original lore and intent was about. Let's help this person a little bit. These are quite many. So they have our quest giver fighting, so no, there it goes. Now let's wait for him to come back. Not much to do in the meantime, I suppose. Maybe I can get myself something to drink. Well, I guess we might as well just grab that chest over there. Now, I don't know if you heard that, but I actually love that this character has an elven war shout. And something that you may or may not be aware of is that Tolkien, before he was a writer, he actually was and continued to be a professor of, I think, English literature. One of the main reasons why he wanted to write Lord of the Rings was because he
What can I do for you?
Britain was lacking in its own myths. So he wrote one that was based upon the old English countryside, which is why the original area that we take place in. Okay, Madara, enjoy your break, whatever you're gonna do. Is called the Shire. And yeah, that's how we got The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, because he wanted Britain to have their own mythical myths. see. And I completely forgot to read the quest. But that's okay. I mean, when talking about Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, I just forget stuff sometimes. And I don't think that anyone can fault me for that. Grab some loot. And one of the things that is a bit weird, but I kind of like about this game, is the fact that it will just store your loot somewhere and you can sort that out whenever you want to. And that makes it a lot easier to actually work with that. Although, as you can see, it might overflow your bags quite heavily. But I will, of course, sort that out in between episodes if I can. Okay, I can't equip that. Yay! Are you giving up yet? Please finally giving up. Okay. Then let's see.
Sweet-eyed Melon.
Aberthal is being held in that encampment after all. You've done well. This confirms the fears of Master Dorangur. The dwarves are indeed behind the capture of Aberthal. The time has come to confront Mathi Stouthand, the Lord of Gondomon, with this news. If he will not command his dwarves to release Aberthal, then my time as emissary is over. There will be war. That doesn't sound all that good. Let's see what this Mathi Stouthand has to say for himself.
Greetings, friend. Will you lend me your ear?
Gilthin says, Mathi looked me in the eye this very morning and swore that the dwarves are proud to have the elves of Duland as neighbours. Such dishonesty, and right to my face. I thought he was truer than that. I should have known better. No dwarf can be trusted when you have works of art or history that he desires to possess. Go to Mathi Stouthand and demand he order his dwarves to release Aberthal. If he wants war, he shall have it. You must tell him this. I do not trust myself to speak to one so dishonest without striking him. You will find Mathi on the upper levels of Gondomon. Make haste. We may have need to return at once to Duland to prepare for war. I think what may have happened here is that Gilfin mistakes the Dowerhand Dwarves for the Stouthand Dwarves, and as such is blaming the Stouthands for the actions of the Dowerhands. But we'll see what Mathi will have to say about that. Upper levels, I think. There we go.
Well met.
And here we go. Matthew says, hold your accusations, High Elf. My people are not responsible for your missing prince. I am offended both by the accusation and by your tone. Your elf prince is being held in the encampment to the north? Ah, yes, that explains a great deal. You see, my people are Longbeards, an honorable family descended from Durin, the first father of the dwarves. Remind me of that, by the way, because that is something that we definitely need to go into. The dwarf camp to the north has been a constant annoyance to me and my folk. It was established by Dowerhands, a thoroughly unwholesome family of dwarves who trace their ancestry to the evil Skorgrim Dowerhand. Dwarves may have taken Avothal, true, but not my dwarves. The Dowerhands are to blame, and they are as much a thorn in my side as they are in yours. And it is, as I said, a different clan of dwarves. Now, he says that he is descended from Durin, the first father of the dwarves. That is true in a way, but also kind of not the entire truth. As in, the dwarves were not a people that were born in such a way as all the other peoples of Middle-earth. All the peoples of Middle-earth, with the exception of both the dwarves and the Ents, and we'll go into the Ents a lot later, is that they were made by a being called Eru Iluvatar, who stands even above the Vala. And I think I've gone into the Vala in one of my earlier episodes, so I'll not go into that at this point. But one of the Valar, Aula the Smith, he created the dwarves as he was too impatient to wait for the elves to awaken. Durin was one of them. And I think he was the first among them, but he was one of the original 7 lords of the dwarves. So, as I said, while it's kind of true that he was the first father of the dwarves, he was not the only one. Let's continue.
Will you help me?
Your people wouldn't understand the difference between Durin's folk and the Dowerhands. If my dwarves attempt to rescue the elf prince and fail, you elves might assume that we and the Dowerhands are in league. Then what? War between the dwarves and the elves? No, that cannot be allowed to happen. What we need is someone trusted by elves and dwarves alike to his attempt. There is a man, a ranger out of the wilds in the east, who has assisted both of our kindreds at sundry times. He is masterful in the art of hunting and stealth. Seek the ranger Langlass at the Hunter's Lodge to the east of here. I only hope he will accept this responsibility. So, he basically says that this attempt to rescue the Elven Prince is much too dangerous to be taken by dwarves. Not because it's dangerous to them in a physical sense, but that he fears the elves will not believe if they've made a proper attempt at it, and might go to war still. So he's directing us to another person who might actually bridge that gap. And there is something to be said there, because there is absolutely no love lost between the dwarves and the elves. Back in the old days, in the Second Age, there was... how do I put this? There's a lot to digest there, actually, but I will just go into... yeah. I'm sorry about that. Let me grab something to drink real quick. During the Second Age, there was much trade between the Elves and the Dwarves, and there was friendship in a major way as well. The Dwarves were part of at least one very important battle in the long war against Sauron's master, Morgoth. As such, the dwarves, as excellent smiths, created a necklace for one of the elf lords. Unfortunately, though, in the necklace was set one of the dang, now I'm forgetting the name of that. One of the 3 stones. Pretty important too. Silmarils. That was the name. One of the Silmarils that Morgoth had stolen from the elves was taken by a human, Baron, and an elf lord had it set into a necklace. And the reason why the elf lord got it, because Baron got that stone, that jewel, from Morgoth as a way to earn the elf lord's consent for marrying his daughter. Unfortunately, the Silmarils also had this unfortunate side effect that they awoke greed in those who set eyes upon it. And the dwarves at some point said, hey, we want that necklace back. That necklace was forged by us, and because we set the jewel in it, the jewel also belongs to us. Obviously the elves would not have that, and there was a bitter battle fought between the dwarves and the elves, and that is, if not the first, probably one of the most important reasons why elves and dwarves have always distrusted each other since. Lots of questions. Let's grab the
Well met,
master.
friend.
Might I take a
Right.
moment of your
Yes.
time?
Come and stay a
Figure
moment,
out later
friend.
whether we want to do them or not.
How can I be of service?
We are standing before Langlass, the ranger that Matthew Stouthand told us about. And he says, elves and dwarves living as neighbours in Ered Luin is worse than keeping a lynx kitten and a wolf pup in the same house. I hope you don't take offence at my saying so. In the interest of maintaining peace in Ered Luin, I will respect Matthew Stouthand's wishes and arrange for the rescue of Aberthal. I do not want to bear the burden of our rescue ending in failure, but a ranger doesn't have the luxury of refusing charges such as this one. If I were to refuse, Avorthal's life would be forfeit, and so too would be peace in Ered Luin. I will organize the attempt if you will help me. By the way, very important, Ered Luin is an elven name, and is the name in English or in Middle Earth is called Westron, of the Blue Mountains. What is quite important here is that in the Old Elvish language, they tend to have their adjectives behind the nouns. So while you might expect Ered to mean blue, that is not the case. So it says the mountains which are blue. So Ered, and we'll come across that later as well, in different ways, is mountains, and Luin is blue.
Would you do something for me?
Rumor of Avorthal's capture has come to me. Matthie's fears have merit. The elves of Dulan remember the treachery of Skorgrim Dowerhand 600 years ago, and do not easily recognize the difference between dwarves. I'm sorry. The short reign of Thrain and his son Thorin in Ered Luin was marked by grudging peace only because their folk kept to themselves and did not trouble the elves. Very well, I will help you to rescue Avorthal and hopefully avert a war. In these darkening times, strife between the enemies of Mordor can only serve to aid the Dark Lord. This rescue will not be easy. Return to me when you are ready to depart for the Dowerhand camp. Now, it does say that the quest is meant for level 12 and up. We're level 11 at the moment, but I think that is good enough. So, let's accept that quest.
The Ranger Langlass prepares to mount an effort to rescue the elf prince Avorthal from the clutches of the treacherous Dowerhands.
We must
We
hurry.
should proceed without delay. Together we may defeat the Dowerhands and rescue Avorthal. Let's follow him. Get rid of these first sentries. I think I might need some new weapons because these are not exactly doing a lot of damage. And as we can see, there are heroes here, or Endraval, probably in the employ of these Dowerhands. Used as probably scouts mainly, or alarm. just for a moment.
They know we are here.
They know we are here now. The fighting will be worse up ahead. Now, it is time to go. Ooh. It is starting to become rather late in here. I don't know exactly why they've chosen to keep these fortifications at in such a weird way, because although it will funnel enemies into all these choke points, the problem is they are still mostly open, so I think they have definitely they could have done so much better with that, making sure that, you know, it was less open and less vulnerable to attack. Hey monster, welcome back. We found out that basically an elven prince has been captured by these dower hands, and unfortunately the elves have a bit of a hard time to tell them apart from the Longbeards. So they have basically issued an ultimatum to the dwarves wanting their elven prince back, and otherwise they would go to war. But, you know, elves not being able to tell dwarves apart, that's going to be a little bit difficult. So the dwarven lord of the area has asked us to request assistance from this ranger, and we're currently right in the middle of basically fighting through this camp full of the Dowerhand dwarves to rescue the elven prince. And I think we might be getting close to the end.
You are a boon companion.
This has been a long and dangerous trek, but I am glad to have had you at my side throughout it all. Come now, let us end this. Yep, as I said, the final battle is upon us. Now, I don't like the green smoke coming from that furnace or whatever it is. It seems rather foul. So, yeah. Let's end this.
efforts were for naught.
This has been a waste of time and blood, neither of which we can afford. Let us discuss our possible paths back at the lodge. It seems that Avothal was not here. The Elven Prince
How can I be of service?
we were tasked to find.
What do you need?
This is certainly distressing news. It appears the Dower Hands were one step ahead of us all this while. Ah well, I suppose we must follow their trail. Caladul is the center of Dower Hand power, the last remaining town in Eric Lewin which they control. Conflict will not be easily avoided there. Ah, a new weapon. I like this.
Could I speak with you a moment?
We must not delay. We must rescue Avothal from the Dower Hands before they are able to set sail. The Dower Hands control the port city of Caladul to the east, and the ship they plan to carry out Avothal is surely docked there. Caladul is defended by a score of Dower Hands, and it is a position of great strength. We cannot hope to attack it directly. If we are to have any hope of rescuing Avothal from Caladul, we will need the help of one who knows the city. I know a dwarf, a longbeard named Svanner, who was harbour master of the port before the Dower Hands captured the city. You will find him to the east of here, not far from Caladul. So, let's go find him. But first, upgrades. Part 1. Yeah.
What do you need?
That weapon I was talking about not too long ago. Let's put that in. Except that is a two-handed weapon. I don't like that. I want dual weapons. Much more fun. So, let's see where we have to go. Close to the docks. So, you might have missed this, but earlier we were standing on the cliff over here and we were looking down at these at the docks over there, and compared to Elven architecture, these are very square, very made figures of strength rather than the delicate bows and arches of the Elven architecture, which more resembles nature. So, let's see what Svanna has to say.
Greetings, traveler.
If you want to get inside Caladul, I'm the dwarf you need. The Dower Hands have let my fine harbour sink into filth and disrepair. Any foe of theirs is a friend of mine. A ship came out of the north and has been sitting at anchor for a few days now. From what I can gather, she's called the Irestone, and the captain is a particularly unpleasant-looking Dower Hand. If he's planning on taking this elf prince back north on his ship, you'll need to hurry. I overheard the guards at the gate saying that the ship wouldn't be long in port. During the day you will be too visible, but at night you need not be a burglar to sneak into Caladul undetected. You you'll want to stay clear of the night watch or you'll raise the alarm. Basically, he says it'll be a lot easier to get in there when it's night. So let's wait until nightfall.
Avorthal had been moved
There we
from the
go.
Dowerhand encampment to a ship preparing to depart for an unknown port in the north. His rescue is paramount to maintaining peace in Ered Luin.
Luckily, this guard is sleeping, so we don't have to worry about him. Now, he said we do want to avoid the night watch, so let's do that. And let's wait for this night watch to finish his patrol. We could of course kill him, but I don't think that's necessarily the best course of action. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, Monster. I mean, during the day, peak of activity. Ah, dang it, I was too quick. Oh well. Let's toss him into the water. Well, I would if this game would allow such mechanics. No, during the night, obviously, much less activity, only a handful of watchmen. So, yeah, should make it a lot easier to get in there. And indeed, there is Avorthal.
Praise Elbereth, one who might be of help.
You are here to free me? Skorgrim Dowerhand has raised a goblin army in the cleft of Rath Teraig, and unless we stop him, it will sweep through all the free lands. There is no time to waste, my friend. We will need to defeat the captain and his crew if we are to escape from Caladur with our lives and bring word of the danger which grows stronger within Rath Teraig. The captain will soon return. Quickly, untie my hands. We need to escape from here. There we go. Yay! Victory is ours. I agree.
The shadow has risen.
We must hurry. Skorgrim has assembled an army of goblins within Rath Teraig, and though my rescue should end the threat of war between dwarves and elves, I fear that the goblin army will not long remain within that narrow pass. Let us bring this warning out of Caladur or into the light of morning, and may our chances for peace also shine bright.
May Gavanen.
Greetings.
Avorthal is safe, and the promise of peace is much closer than it was. But Ered Luin is not free of the threat of war just yet. We must defeat Skorgrim Dowerhand and end his menace, and we must do this quickly before he can put the second stage of his plan into motion.
Stay a moment.
I will send word to Matthew Stouthand and Gilthin Gondamon of Avorthal's safe return and to warn their masters. The free peoples of Ered Luin must unite if they are to drive Skorgrim and his goblin allies from this land. While Lord Dwalin and Master Dorangur assemble their forces, I have an urgent task for you. The goblins have mustered in Rath Teraig, and if we are to have any hope of reaching Skorgrim, we must thin their ranks. journey to the outskirts of Rathtarag, the valley south of Gondamon, and speak with the dwarf there, Ingolfer. He will have more instructions for you. Aid him, and Dwalin and Dorangur may have a greater chance for victory. With that, I do need to take a short break. I'll be right back. It's good. Mm. And I'm back. It was getting a little bit cold out here, so I put on my vest. Thank you, monster. So let's see where we have to go. So let's go to, is that the west, I think? And continue this quest. We have just learned that there is a small goblin army poised to invade, and while both elves and dwarves are gathering their forces to repel this invasion, We have been tasked to thin out their numbers, and we're just going to check what we can do to aid in that regard. Look at these archers. I mean, they're not as outstandingly beautiful as an elven arch would be, but if you can imagine that all these split lines are actually one stone block, so these are immense blocks, not unlike those of the pyramids, that have been hewn out by the dwarves and transported here to demark part of their territory. And yeah, it's a signifier of strength, and a warning to those who want to do harm that strength is what they'll receive.
Greetings, traveler. Will you stay a moment? Greetings, traveler. Will you stay a moment?
Remains to be seen.
Greetings, traveler.
Goblins
Will
in
you
the
stay a
valley.
moment?
My thanks to you for standing by us on this. Is this the right one? Hold on. That is the wrong one.
Welcome. You have
the
come
random
at a
quest.
most fortuitous time.
This
At
is
your
the one.
service and your
Can I
families.
send you? He's a queer sort, that one. What a fine fellow for sending aid. If he thinks you are capable, then I have no reason to keep you from your task. You will find all manner of foul goblins beyond our barricade here. Do your best to avoid the truly dangerous ones, and be careful not to travel too deeply within the valley. Fearsome are the goblins beyond the great peak at the heart of Rath Taraig. So basically we just have to deal with a few of these, and in the meantime we can check if we can do like a few side quests. These creatures called milk eyes for some reason. We've been asked to cull their number a little bit. So we'll do just that. And it will give us a little bit of speed in the meantime, which will of course help later on. Spiders, also need those. Or at least I think I need them. Yep, we do. There's our first goblin. Yay! We're getting them quickly. Ooh, this is a big one. I might not be able to deal with this one. I'm definitely not able to deal with that one. Let's get out of here. Go away! Go away! Yay! That's what she said. You mean go away? Just a few more of those to go. In the meantime, there's some spiders. And this is a special one. Let's first deal with... Oh, dang it! That was not smart. Go away! Here we go again. Oh wait, this time I think we can take him. I hope this will help us, he's not that tough. See? There we go. And we leveled up. Yay! I'm throwing me. I need ranged goblins. That's one. Hey there, Whiskey. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for asking. Oh, I'm getting quite tired. I think I'm gonna finish this quest and end it. Oh, I'm not killing you again. Go away. Go away, I said. Those are all melee goblins. Hey, Iconic. How are you doing? I'm glad that it does. Yeah, this game has been out for like 10 plus years already. I think. So this is really basic, but although you can't see it right now, I love doing this because it will give a lot of insight into how the developers tied in this game with the lore that was written by Tolkien. So that is the main aim of what we're doing here, is just playing through the game and figuring out what we can learn from this game as opposed to the books. And so far I've had, I think, a couple of hours, and I've already talked about so many things, about like the origins of the elves, and mainly the origins between in the hatred between and the distrust between dwarves and elves. I've talked about the origins of the elves themselves, even about the origins of the elves. And yeah, I'm having so much fun just exploring that and figuring out what goes on in this game. Oh really? Last week? I'm glad that you're hooked. It's amazing. You might have missed it, but at some point I said that one of the things that I really love about this game is that if you not take into account like the million of different quests that you can do, is that the lore of the main quest is just so absolutely amazing. And if you've read the books or watched the movies, as you progress throughout the game, you will find places and quests that really tie in with the lore, and with the Fellowship, and well, I won't go into too much right now, but obviously we're not part of the Fellowship, but we will find pieces of evidence of that fellowship, and I really love how meticulously the developers listened to or adhered to the source material, and even certain things like the Dower Hands is, while not exactly lore specific, it is based in the lore because there were wars and battles fought between both dwarves as well as elves. Yeah, it's God. I remember that back in the day when it was still subscription based, I got this lifetime package, and now that it's gone free to play, that lifetime package actually means that I get a lot of the in-game currency for free, and even though I don't have all of the expansions quite yet, the expansions that I did get have all been bought with points that I saved up from, having that lifetime subscription. Also, I'm just gonna go quickly past these guys because I have finished this quest. Yay! Yeah, it's absolutely humongous. I actually touched upon that a little bit earlier when I said, hey, this is the quest area that we're working on right now. And then when I zoom out, it's just this little part, and we have so much more to cover. And then I zoom out again, and it's like this tiny area here. And I know at least that we can go up into this place as well. I have not been to Mordor, and I'm not too sure whether I've been to Ravanion, Mirkwood. I'm not too sure how much of that you can actually access, but this place is absolutely huge, and we've only gotten so little of it for now, and I am definitely going to go to every single location and find out how the developers of this game tied it into the actual lore. And I know that some places will not have as much lore. Oh, that's really nice. By the way, what do I call you? Can I just call you Watchin? I have something on my screen and I have absolutely no idea what that was. I think that might have been a follow. Though I really have to figure out how those things work. Sorry about that. I know that the area of Boroshell is only briefly touched upon in the books. Yay! Thank you, Iconic. Thank you so much. But the area of Anuminas, for example, has so much lore implication that I would definitely love to go there and talk about those areas. Yay! I would love that, Iconic. Can I ask which time zone you are in?
Greetings,
Finish
traveler.
this quest real quick.
At your service and your families. Greetings, traveler.
UK, okay. That is actually pretty good because I'm based in Western Europe. And I have not exactly have a set time for streams yet. I tend to watch a lot of other streamers during the evenings. But yeah, we'll just see what happens, and perhaps I will get a specific time slot at some point. I just don't know yet. We'll just figure this out as we go along. This is a one-handed club. I think I can wield that as my dual-hand class. Let's hope so, at least. Yay!
At your service and your families.
Now we have to go to the cabin. Oh, that is so sad. I'm so sorry to hear that, Iconic. I do hope you will be able to see one soon, because I can tell you from experience, oh my god, it's so good to actually get that. You might not know it, but I am trans myself. I started going on HRT 4 years ago, and I actually started my transition about a year before that, so about 5 years ago. Yeah, almost exactly 5 years ago. And it has absolutely changed my life. To be able to just be who I am, to be accepted for who I am, that, you know, is so good. And although I put in, I will be absolutely honest and say probably not everyone will treat you with the respect that I have gotten, and even I have run into some people who did not treat me well, but the people who do, they will change your life. And the fact that you can just, you know, actually be yourself, that is priceless. It's going really well, Patine. I am actually going to end this stream quite shortly, unfortunately. I did not actually intend for it to take this long. But I've had such a blast. It's been 4 months since I started streaming. 4 months since I had to take a break. Today actually is the first time I got back into it, and I will definitely stream again. In fact, if you've missed stream, I also have oh, that's so nice. Thank you for the follow. I also have I record this for YouTube because I do intend this to be a playthrough that just delves into the lore of Lord of the Rings and all the books that Tolkien wrote. So it's much less about the game itself and much more about how that ties in with the books and how the devs did that. So it's more of an experience rather than gameplay, I suppose, though obviously the gameplay is part of it. And as such, it's also a bit of a learn as we go kind of thing. Because at first I just started doing everything. But now I think it's much more interesting if I do like all the tedious side quests, off camera, and just keep the core of the idea fresh and just have it lore intensive. But yeah, let's finish this quest and finish up.
How can I be of service?
Let's see. You have done well. Once the dwarves and elves have arrayed their forces, the assault on Rath Taride will begin.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Wallen has sent many Longbeards marching to Rath Taride, and Dorongo Whitethorn has dispatched many elf warriors of his own. Skorgrim sought to divide the peoples of Ered Luin, but his actions have only strengthened their resolve to stand against him. Skorgrim Dourhand will die in Rath Taride. While the Elves and Durance folk draw away the greater part of the Goblin army, you will enter behind the lines and join up with Avathal. When you have readied yourself, return to me, and I will show you the path to Avathal. So, yeah, I probably won't be on tomorrow because I also play basketball, and I've been asked to be a referee for a friendly game tomorrow. So either I will stream early in the day or return on Wednesday, and I definitely hope to see you at that point. But with that, thank you very much for joining. And yeah, see you next time. Goodbye.